So guys, let's cut this blouse shirt. Of course our collar will be pointed. Yeah, so welcome again to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to give it a like. So the first thing I'm doing here is to have a starting line. We all know that some fabrics have a starting line, but for this one it doesn't have, so I'm putting a starting line. So from the starting line I'll mark 3 inches like this. And then I'll have to figure out my length, so I've put my full length here and plus a hemming allowance, and I have my I have my line there vertical, and then I'm putting also a line horizontal for the 3 inches marks I did. So I'll take my fabric, I'll fold it like this so that I can cut both front and back at once. So I'll just make my fabric straight here. So I'll try to figure out my length again, because this fabric I folded it again, so it has covered my length. Is what I'm doing here. So my neck width I'll use 3 inches, and my neck depth I'll use 3 inches as well. Of course, when stitching, if you feel that the around the neck is small, you can increase it. And then my shoulder is 16. I'm using my shoulder 16 divided by 2, 8 inches, and my shoulder slope will be 1 inches. And from the beginning of the fabric I'm marking 10 inches. That will be my chest line, and then 16 inches my waist line, and then I'll put my full length. I hope you can see, guys. Of course, maybe my chalk is not visible properly, but still, if you follow my explanation, you understand. So now I have to take my measurements, my chest measurements, divide by 4. This is what I have, and I added ½ inch for seam allowance. And then I'll divide also my waist into 4. My waist measurements into 4. What I'll have there, I'll add also a seam allowance of ½ inch. And then I'll divide my hip. Divided into 4. Guys, I'm just folding my tape measure into 4 here. Yeah, so this is my measurements for hip, and I'll take the same measurements to the full length, and I'm connecting the marks I did here. So guys, the other part of the fabric isn't showing, but just for my explanations. If you want to put that, you just mark 12 inches from top, and then 4.5 by the width, and the the length of the dart is 9 inches. So you can see from the 12 inches I mark, I go down by 9 inches. If you want to put that on your shirt, yeah. So you can see here, there is the first one, neck depth for back is 1 inch, and as you can see, I'm cutting here. This was 1 inch depth back neck, this one. So as I said, I'm cutting both the front and the back at once. So the 1 inch depth is for back part, and the 3 inch is for front. So you can see what I'm doing here. So I just want to put a curve here by the side of the shirt. Just want to put a curve here. I go up by 2 inches here. So I'll take out this part also, and then I'll have to cut my front neck depth. So you can see, so let's cut the front neck depth. So I'll just trace my round neck here, as you can see. And I'll take 1/2 inch out from the front. So I'll just measure the back part, the length of the shoulder. So I have to make sure that is the same with the front. Like this, they're all the same. So let's cut sleeve. Let's cut our sleeve. You can see I folded my fabric into 4. The sleeve is big. Yeah, the sleeve is big, so you can see I just folded the fabric into 4. But if you want your sleeve to be much bigger, you can do that. If you want it to be smaller, you can do that also. So here, this is my armhole. Just a freehand drawing, this is big sleeve, so it doesn't have much doing here. So you can see the 6 inches here, and then I have to decide my length. So my full length, my full length is 25, and then I'll have to add some inches to it. So as of this sleeve, I added 5 inches to it, so I'll just cut it. Sorry. Yeah, it's simple like that. It's just simple like that. You can see it's done. So we have to cut a collar now. As we said, the collar will be a pointed one. Yeah, will be a pointed one. So let's cut the collar. Let's have a straight line here from the beginning here. So my collar, I want it to be 16. Plus button of wraps, I just put it on a 9.5, and then I'll divide that I have by into 2 to have a midpoint. You can see, and then from to the end here, I'll go up by 1.5 inch, and I'll connect to this midpoint. So my neck width should be 2.5. Of course, this will be trimmed when stitching according to the width you want. So this is 2.5, and then let me draw another line here. This is a collar stand. Yeah, this is collar stand. What I've just done here. So we have to cut a collar. As I said, my collar I want to be 16. So for the collar, it will be 16. I mean 16 minus 2, and it will be 7.5. So I just put 7.5 here, so that when it finishes, it should be 15 inches. So the width of this collar is 2.25. Yeah, you can see here. Just to follow attentive to what I'm doing here. If you have any questions, please, you are welcome. If you think we must improve somewhere, so you are welcome. You are free to do so. So as I said, my collar is pointed one, so I have a line here, as you can see. If it would have been that is just a normal collar, that means it was done. But this is a pointed one. This is what I mean. So let's cut it. Yeah, this is the collar stand, and then let's cut the collar. You can see how is pointed. So guys, we are done for this tutorial. I hope it's helpful. Thank you for watching.